Just gonna let you guys know right off the bat, I'm not talking about the Daniel Bryan retirement in this Raw review. That will be, my thoughts on that will be on a separate video either tomorrow or sometime later this week. For those of you that expect me to be a big dick, because, you know, the idea is out there that I hate Daniel Bryan and all that kind of thing. It's not going to be that. It's not going to be, you know, grabbing a couple beers and crying in my beer either. I have a lot of thoughts to share about Daniel Bryan, about the retirement, about how it affects himself and the WWE and all that. That is not a video that I'm going to be putting up tonight. That's a video that I'm going to be putting up either later this week or sometime on the weekend. I don't think it's going to be what you guys expect, so tune in for that later this week. And if you don't mind, for now, I'm going to talk about the rest of Raw. What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz, Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check, here with your February 8th Raw review from Seattle, Washington. It was a good show. We're going towards Fastlane. A lot of cool stuff happened. We jumped right into it with Stephanie McMahon opening the show, talking about talking about the contract signing for Fastlane for the triple threat match for the #1 contendership to face Triple H WrestleMania. They immediately are chanting Daniel Bryan. Now I want to express a small issue that I have with this, and this is not a dig at Daniel Bryan. Let me be clear on that. But fans that want to hijack a show, or for lack of a better term, hijack a show. I'm not going to play around with my words. But you don't like Roman Reigns, you don't like Stephanie, right? That's cool, so you hijack the show. But everybody loves Dean Ambrose, right? Everybody on some level loves Brock Lesnar. I mean, it's hard not to at this point. He's a wrecking machine beyond face, heel, whatever. So while Daniel Bryan is retiring, you want to show your respect to Daniel Bryan. You don't do that, or I don't think that goal is achieved by cheering Daniel Bryan over the three guys that are going to be in the main event of the next pay-per-view going forward, one of which will go on to WrestleMania and make up the next couple of months of the current product. I don't say that, again, I don't say that in disrespect to Daniel Bryan or disrespect to Daniel Bryan fans. I don't think it was appropriate. The show opened up with a big video package on Daniel Bryan, so it's not as offensive as it could be. I just think it was a little misplaced. Okay, got a haircut on the weekend. My head is really shiny, and that's really distracting because I'm looking at myself in the screen right there. Anyways, I'm super professional as I look at the top of my own head. Stephanie starts making some quick Hollywood puns. We've got Batman versus Superman, and we've got Iron Man versus Captain America going on in Hollywood. Here in the WWE, we have the big dog, the Lunatic, and the Beast. I love that because me, on a side note, you know, comparing everything to wrestling as we do, think of a typical CM Punk, John Cena rivalry. You've got that with Batman and Superman, don't you? You've got that with Captain America and Iron Man as well. Fully, this is outside the realm of wrestling completely, other than the fact that it was mentioned by Stephanie McMahon. There's two big battles coming up in the cinematic year this year, one between Batman and Superman, one between Iron Man and Captain America. I am firmly Team Wayne, Team Stark. Just out of my own pure morbid curiosity, tell me whose side you guys are on down in the box below. I mean, you could have a six-man tag with Batman, Iron Man, and CM Punk versus Superman, Captain America, and John Cena, could you not? Excuse me. Ambrose comes out and basically cuts through all the bullshit, says, "Can we please get this over with? I want a piece of Brock tonight." Roman Reigns comes up and he's sort of laughing, backing up his buddy. You know, "Hey, yeah, it's Steph. What's the holdup? You know, my buddy wants to fight tonight." Lesnar comes out. Heyman starts to do his opening spiel. "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is..." Stephanie cuts him off, and it's just, yeah, Paul, we all know who you are. It's good. Everybody signs the contract, and Stephanie fucks off. Heyman gets in Dean Ambrose's face and says, I think you should ask your big Samoan brother there what it's like to get a beat down by Brock Lesnar. Ambrose stares him down again. Lesnar tosses Ambrose at Roman Reigns as a weapon. Lesnar then picks up the table and gives Roman Reigns a table shot the way most wrestlers would give another wrestler a chair shot. It's good. F5 on Ambrose. Triple H comes out on the rampway to stare down Brock Lesnar as well. I would love, although I am realistic and I know it's not going to happen, before Fastlane, or at the very least before WrestleMania, I would love to see Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose versus Triple H and Brock Lesnar. It would be good. Just saying. Owens versus Ziggler happened again. They didn't replay the moment from SmackDown that I thought they were going to replay, which was Owens powerbombing Kalisto into Dolph Ziggler's lap at commentary. It was a ridiculous... I know I went over this ad nauseum on my SmackDown review. Please go check it out if you haven't. But it was just such a ridiculous spot. It wasn't some, like, you know, swanton bomb out of the balcony, but it was just such a good fucking spot. Anyways, clothesline by Owens to start the match, and a cannonball immediately. Mudhole stomps and knees to the head by Owens. Forearm crossface blows by Owens and a boot to the ribs. Roll-up attempt by Ziggler. Running elbow by Owens. Series of one-punch knockdowns by Owens. Ziggler, being the ragdoll that he is, stands up to get knocked down again. That cliche. Very, very good. Backpack sleeper by Ziggler, where typically one of two things would happen if you got a backpack sleeper on. Either you run yourself backwards into the turnbuckles to knock the person off, or you reverse it into the backpack stunner, which is a move that I absolutely love. But Owens throws his own body out of the ring to get Ziggler off of him. And it's really cool. And yes, I know part of this is just that WWE cameramen and producers know where to be and know how to shoot it and whatever, but this looked really fucking good. Because a guy this size, and I mean this with due respect, even though Kevin Owens has me blocked on Twitter, I mean this with all due respect, a guy the size of Kevin Owens shouldn't be able to move the way Kevin Owens does. I mean that in the most complimentary way possible. When we come back from commercial break, commercial break, not commercial break, because I can speak, I swear. Owens rides a side headlock and gets a jawbreaker by Ziggler. Running senton by Owens and a boot by Ziggler. Owens hits post shoulder first. Rolling clotheslines, a splash and a neck breaker by Ziggler. Running elbow drop by Ziggler and a super kick by Owens. Pop-up powerbomb fails. Ziggler's super kick fails. A roll up with the tights by Owens fails. It all in rapid concession. And I need a drink because I'm already out of breath. Jumping DDT by Ziggler, and Owens bails. Owens bails not all the way out of the ring, though. He's basically on his stomach with the upper half of his body facing out of the ring. So Ziggler comes around the corner almost like he's going to do a Roman Reigns drive-by and hits a famouser on Kevin Owens, off the apron, face first to the floor. Another very, very sick-looking spot. Ziggler misses the corner splash. Owens misses the cannonball. Roll up with the ropes by Ziggler not only gets him the win, but sends Kevin Owens into fucking fits. It's fucking bliss. This match, I know, you got the rule book, you flip through, you know, YWC page 5 line 2 rule 5 says you can't watch a match more than once. A match can't happen more than once and still be good, but they keep on pulling out sick shit like this. The two-man dive out of the ring that Owens did and the famouser off the apron that Ziggler did, stuff that I'm not going to say that I've ever seen before. I'm not going to say that I want these guys to face each other every week, but right now they're proving, you know, that they are the guys that can get it done. Example, Hardy and Edge, Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, Cena and Orton, even though most people won't give them that much credit, Benoit and Angle. We're seeing those types of tropes with the rivalry between Ziggler and Owens. They're different enough, and they bring such different things to the table that at least once in every match they have, there's something that they haven't been done before. There's something that that is the one niche in your belt there that makes you not able to say that it's same old shit. If they do this again at Fastlane, I'm fully in. I don't even care. Don't put a title involved. Don't get a stipulation. Just give them another match, another standard match at Fastlane. And you know, we have the network, so I can't say take my money. But if we didn't have the network, I would say take my money. Dudley's in the back talking to the Usos. The Usos are set to be in a tables match with the New Day tonight, and the Dudleys come in kind of joshing them, you know, we want a piece of the Usos, or so we want a piece of the New Day too, and the tables match is our match. You can't have a tables match without the Dudleys. And they say, okay, let's go see if we can make it happen. Let's go talk to the boys upstairs type thing. At this point, you're thinking, okay, which 3 out of those 4 are going to fight? Because there's only 3 members of the New Day. Stay tuned. Charlotte with Ric Flair in her corner versus Alicia Fox, who does not have Brie in her corner, obviously, because she's with Daniel Bryan, and bigger and more important things are happening tonight. We announce Charlotte versus Brie Bella at Fastlane, the first half of what I asked WWE for last week. This is going to be a bump in the road before we get to the triple threat match that we all want at WrestleMania. So suck it up. Bella is getting some pay-per-view time, which hasn't happened in a while. You'll be fine. Collar and elbow and a side headlock to start. Drop kick by Charlotte. Trip by Charlotte and a counter by Fox into a drop kick. Northern Lights suplex with a bridge by Fox, who's way more impressive than most people are giving her credit for these days because she's so in the background. I'm going to say that again later on tonight when we come to something else. Second rope neck breaker by Charlotte and a mudhole stomp. Sunset flip over the top by Alicia Fox. Charlotte basketballs Fox's face off the ring and puts her in a neck vise. Then she does that thing that I hate, that figure 4 face lock, face buster, I'm gonna hump your skull into the mat thing that she does. Charlotte, elbow and a running boot by Fox, neckbreaker by Charlotte, pinning reversal sequence, spear, figure 8, Charlotte gets the obvious win. Charlotte's the champion, and Alicia Fox hasn't been built up to be much more than the Bella Twins sidekick in the past few weeks, although she's starting to go with her crazy gimmick again, so I'm really hoping she breaks off and does her own thing. So this was a foregone conclusion. This was, you saw who was fighting, and you look at the match and you say, well, Charlotte's winning. So the result of the match almost becomes irrelevant to me at that point. It's kind of, okay, really, really bad comparison. I'll give you that. But when people used to fight Undertaker at WrestleMania, you knew Undertaker was going to win, so you had to focus on the match differently. You had to focus on whoever the opponent was, be it Shawn Michaels, be it Ric Flair, be it whoever. Got to see how good they got to look in the match as opposed to the result, which is the same thing here. There was no way Charlotte was going to lose this match. Although I said that about Brie Bella last week, and we see what happened there. So I instead turned to Alicia Fox, who, like everybody else on the roster, is more interesting than Charlotte, and I say that she had a really fucking good outing. And if she at some point gets a push out of this, and she gets a title shot somewhere else down the line, and she gets to shine the way the NXT girls get to shine on Raw, I wouldn't mind it at all, because it's a lot better than some other people I could mention. It is announced by the guys at ringside that it is going to be a 4-on-4 tables match later tonight. The Dudleys and the Usos versus the New Day and their mystery opponent later tonight. Miz TV with Jericho. It was way better than I think anybody will admit that it was. Miz comes out to open up Miz TV. Before he introduces Jericho, he replays the attack from last week by AJ, takes shots at AJ Styles, takes shots at Daniel Bryan because it's easy. I look in the back as Jericho comes down to the ring to interrupt him. There's a man of 1,004 holds sign, which makes me smile. Miz and Jericho banter a lot. Jericho decides that we are not going to have Miz TV tonight, that we're going to have the highlight reel. So out come all the ring monkeys to change the mat, change the everything. He even calls for the stool and the potted plant that Roman and Ambrose gave him a couple weeks ago. They bring down the obscenely expensive Geritron 5000, and it becomes the highlight reel out of nowhere. The graphics all change. It's all good. Miz is having a fucking fit. It's great. Jericho mocks Miz for losing to Styles on SmackDown and for breaking his tooth. They go to the replay of that. Miz goes into a big Hollywood spiel about how he had to get his veneers fixed and they cost $10 million each. The crowd starts chanting, "You look stupid." Miz, with the line of the night, "I don't look stupid, I'm not Sheamus," popped me like crazy. Jericho starts singing "All I Want for Christmas Is My Two Front Teeth," which is equally funny. Miz mocks Jericho for his loss to Styles, pumping up their match on SmackDown this week. Styles comes down the ramp, distracting Jericho, who gets jumped by Miz. Styles saves Jericho. They double team the Miz. I can't read my own writing. Styles and Jericho brawl for a bit, and in the process, Miz gets tossed over the commentator's table. They have a stare down. It's all good. They're all setting up for SmackDown. I really like that this rematch is happening on SmackDown. Like I said, there's sort of been, nobody believes me, there's really been a genesis in SmackDown over the past little while, and important shit is getting built and getting to play itself out on SmackDown. I'm not saying that it's equal to Raw, but I think WWE is gradually trying to get it to climb the ladder. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm crazy. But it is what it is, and SmackDown this week should be really, really good. Bray Wyatt versus Ryback was not the greatest match in the world, obviously. Ryback coming out in his new Goldberg-esque attire. I've been calling him Ryberg or Goldback. My buddy James, Fear the Spear 1990, who you guys should all go check out, who is a fan of Ryback and a fan of Goldberg, hates the new Ryback gimmick. It's all good. He's got big guy written across his ass and his name written across his crotch because that's how you get over. Still coming out with the Hulk Hogan style weightlifting belt. Not sure how I feel about that, but it is what it is. Ryback and Bray Wyatt. I remember when this was announced for a pay-per-view a while ago, and I gave it the benefit of the doubt, saying that these guys are so different that the match could be intriguing, and it really sucked. I was wrong. Unlike a lot of other people in the YWC, I can admit that I was completely wrong. This match, this very, very short Raw match, infinitely better than the match that they had on whatever the hell pay-per-view that was. Ryback seems determined to not specifically be a big wrestler style guy. So he's putting a lot of other cool things into the arsenal. They look awkward as hell because they're new. I always use the example of John Cena using the Hurricane Rana and the Canadian Destroyer. They look awkward, but props for trying. It's one of those types of situations. Hard collar and elbow tie up to start. Stomps and uppercuts by Wyatt. Corner shoulder blocks by Ryback and a shoulder tackle. Front slam by Ryback and clothesline by Wyatt to the outside as we go to commercial break. Both men trade punches and a clothesline by Wyatt. Running high knees in the corner by Ryback are impressive because he gets some height off them for a big guy. Corner shoulders and a flying crossbody by Ryback. Also, something he's been trying to throw into his repertoire the past little while. Spinebuster, meat hook. The meat hook is countered into a Sister Abigail, and Wyatt gets an out of nowhere what the fuck win. 4-on-1 beatdown by the Wyatt family on Ryback ends in a Sister Abigail on the floor, and they just drag him out, and he's roadkill. Backstage, two things happen. New Day don't have a partner yet. They are singing to their table while they polish it, and they've got the level, and it's all good. Ambrose is talking to Roman Reigns in the back, says he wants a piece of Brock Lesnar after what happened in the opening segment. Roman Reigns says, okay, let's get him. He says, no. You had him at WrestleMania. You're going to get him at Fastlane with me tonight. He's all mine. I need you to stay out of it. You know, brotherly respect, all that kind of made me think of WrestleMania 18, and I'm not just saying that because I was there, when Hulk Hogan asked the NWO to stay out of his match with The Rock because he needed to know if he could do it one-on-one. Titus O'Neil squashed Adam Rose, and I know anybody that watched the show says Adam Rose won the match, but he got ragdolled, and all three of his teammates on the outside got absolutely plowed over by Titus O'Neil for reasons. I don't care about Titus O'Neil. Ambrose comes out to the ring. Says he thought the F5 was supposed to hurt, calls out Lesnar, just basically no-selling the effects of the F5, which is funny. Says it must have been an F2. or an F3, because an F5 is supposed to be debilitating. It's supposed to take me out, isn't it? Calls Lesnar out, no response. He says maybe Triple H was right last week about Suplex City going soft, and then he takes it into a much, more Dean Ambrose type level. Suplex City's going soft. That sounds kind of like a personal problem. Sounds like you can't get it up for the big event. And then he says, I know Paul Heyman is your advocate, but I didn't know he also needed you to hit your... Yeah. Paul Heyman is your advocate. I didn't know you needed him to hold your balls for you, too. Not quite sure how that makes sense, actually. Lesnar comes out. Lesnar is sort of cocky, sort of laughing, sort of having a laugh at Ambrose's expense until Ambrose runs up the ramp to meet him. Lesnar drives Ambrose into the apron, a bunch of gut shots on the outside, tosses him into the guardrail, a couple of clotheslines once they get back in the ring in an F5, and goes to leave. Now, since I'm doing flashbacks tonight, apparently, does anybody remember the ladder match that Jeff Hardy had with The Undertaker for the WWE Undisputed Championship, when he got the crap kicked out of him by The Undertaker? Undertaker won the match and left with his belt, but then you've got Ragdoll Hardy just grabs a microphone. He can't even stand up. He kind of does the whole, like, you haven't beaten me, my heart's still beating, and he calls Undertaker back even though he can barely stand. Ambrose kind of does the same thing. Ambrose is kind of like pushing himself up and just beckoning Lesnar back, and he comes back. He's almost there. Roman Reigns' music hits, and Roman Reigns steps out on the stage looking all dramatic, shootout at the saloon kind of scene on the stage, from the stage to the ring, rather. Ambrose hits him with a low blow and leaves. As he's going up the ramp, he gives Roman Reigns a dirty look. He says, see, I told you I got him. Because Ambrose, and it's kind of awesome. Lucha Dragons, because Sin Cara is back. I really hope that doesn't mean we're going to say goodbye to Kalisto's solo push, but Lucha Dragons take on Alberto Del Rio and Rusev. Sin Cara and Rusev start. They trade roll-ups and kicks by Sin Cara. Pendulum kick and a sunset flip by Sin Cara. Boot by Alberto Del Rio. Vertical suplex and a mudhole stomp. Stomps by Rusev. Clothesline in the corner and a double nerve hold by Rusev, which means he's doing this with both hands on his shoulder, which doesn't look painful. It's kind of like when Eric Rowan does the Vice thing, where it just looks like my hands are here. Why aren't you submitting? Oh, because it's a move that looks like shit. Brainbuster by Sin Cara. Pendulum kick, a seated senton, a springboard corkscrew crossbody by Kalisto. Head scissor DDT by Kalisto, and a suicide dive by Sin Cara. Enziguri off the top rope by Alberto Del Rio, and a double stomp gets, again, another really what-the-fuck out-of-nowhere victory for the League of Nations. Alberto Del Rio gets the win on Kalisto, which gives me a lot of hope going into Fastlane because, WWE and their 50-50 booking. But here's the thing, though. I mean, you got Wade Barrett on the outside, who really doesn't do anything anymore. You got Sheamus, who's injured, so he wasn't even there. Call me crazy. I don't exactly mind the team of Alberto Del Rio and Rusev. Get them to shake the other two, and just the two of them be a legitimate team. That's all good. Speaking of tag teams, I don't know why... just thought of this just now. The big rumor all day, all over social media, etc., other than Daniel Bryan and his big announcement, was that we were going to see the debut of Golden Truth tonight. That didn't happen. And that Enzo and Cass were moving up to the main roster or making their debut on the main roster tonight. Neither one of those things happened. Fuck you, social media. You're supposed to be my unequivocal source of knowledge. And such. Anyway. Speaking of Golden Truth, we see another little thing. They're in Seattle. There's a Jimi Hendrix museum there, apparently. So Goldust, trying to convince R-Truth to be his partner, is dressed as Little Jimi Hendrix. And he breaks a guitar. And he gets arrested. And R-Truth says, you're about to have a my bad moment. So clearly this thing is happening. It's getting to the point now where, okay, do it. Lost my place. Becky Lynch versus Tamina, with obviously Naomi on the outside because she needs to pretend that she's relevant, and Sasha Banks on commentary. We announced the other half of what I wanted last week in my Raw review, which is Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch versus Botch-O-Me and Tamina. which is going to be great because there's only one way that match can go. It is, again, it's the hop, skip, and the jump between now and WrestleMania when we get that triple threat match that we all know we want. And then Naomi and Tamina can go be irrelevant over there. So here's the thing. And I've said it in a bunch of other people's Q&As, and I've said it to people in social media or whatever. I would rather see a team of Tamina and Nia Jax at this point. It would make more sense, and as much as Nia Jax sucks, she's better than Naomi. Oh, yes. This match was kind of shit. Other than it proved how good Becky Lynch is and how good, how one good competitor can keep my attention in a really shitty match. Side headlock by Becky to start off. Drop kick and elbows by Becky Lynch. Backpack sleeper by Becky. Second time we've seen that tonight. Neither time did it end in the backpack stunner. I'm just disappointed. Second rope springboard thrust kick by Becky. Hangman on the ropes by Tamina. And a cheap shot by Naomi because she needs to feel relevant. Oh yes, both girls trade punches and a neck vice by Tamina. Headbutt and a sleeper... Headbutt and a step over, by Tamina. Sasha and Naomi brawl outside. It causes the distraction. Becky goes in to make the save, hitting a sweet-looking exploder suplex on Naomi, which they've come up with some new name for that I'm not going to use. The distraction allows Tamina to get a super kick in, and Tamina gets the win. I don't mind. It was alright. It was more than I expected out of Tamina, and it was another good showing by Becky Lynch, which is good. Sasha Banks it sort of served her purpose. She was great on commentary, and like I say, the exploder suplex on Naomi just put a big fucking smile on my face. There's a scene in the back where they make Mark Henry the honorary fourth member of the New Day. He puts on a horn, he dances awkwardly, and he even plays Xavier Woods' trombone. Xavier Woods' reaction to somebody else playing his trombone is fucking priceless. We get a reminder about Styles Jericho 2 on SmackDown, which is, like, as I say, is going to be great. The New Day versus Mark Henry and... Sorry, the New Day and Mark Henry versus the Usos and the Dudleys. I've only got a couple bullet points for this match because obviously there's 8 guys in this match. It's all chaotic. It's tornado style because it's a tables match. So I've only got the high points. Sorry for that. It starts with a quad team on Mark Henry. 2-on-3 dive from the Usos to the New Day on the outside. We got a scenario where Mark Henry kind of destroys everybody. The members of the New Day will grab an opponent, throw them into Mark Henry, and the opponent will fall down because Mark Henry. Then they start trying to tell him what to do and tell him to put them through a table. He says, "Do it your damn self. I don't listen to nobody." He walks out on the New Day. Obviously, after that, it's 4-on-3, which doesn't make the babyfaces really look like babyfaces. But we do a double what's up. We have the Usos doing the what's up to Xavier Woods on one side. We got the Dudleys doing the what's up to Kofi Kingston on the other side. It's good. The Usos just have double super kicks for everybody, which is great. 3D on Big E through the table gets the win for the Usos and the Dudleys. And then, makes me smile so much. The Dudleys turn on the Usos. 3D on Jimmy through the table. Jimmy's your babyface. Let me be clear on that. Let me remind you all that. Jimmy's the babyface. He gets 3D through a table. Crowd chants one more time in EC dub. So they second rope powerbomb Jay through another table. And the Dudleys, you know, "Do you know who we are?" And it's fucking good. Which means, hopefully, we're gonna see Usos versus the Dudleys at Fastlane and another team get a shot at the New Day, or at least we're going to make it a triple threat match, or whatever. Either way, this was fucking great, because the Dudleys virtually destroyed everybody. The Dudleys had a hand, like Mark Henry walked away, the Dudleys had a hand in destroying all of the New Day, and then they destroyed their partners. Because fuck you all. It's great. After that was the Daniel Bryan retirement, which went on for a long-ass time. No disrespect. Went on for a long-ass time to the point where half hour after the show was supposed to be over, they said, "Okay, we're going to do the rest of this on the WWE Network," which I watched. It was great. Daniel Bryan had a great speech thanking everybody for the experience and, you know, all the guys in the back for the experience, and wrestling introduced me to all you people. He mentions Connor, talks about meeting his wife and all that sort of thing. It's all great. It's all, you know, for as much as news like this can be a feel-good moment, it was a feel-good moment. Celebration of Daniel Bryan. They had video clips throughout the night. You know what the highlights of Daniel Bryan's career are. Team Hell No, as I try not to roll my eyes. Money in the Bank. Him winning his first championship at Night of Champions a couple years ago, his obviously big Cena-esque win at WrestleMania. It's all good. WWE's always good with shit like this. They put a lot of ceremony into stuff like this. They highlighted his career great. It's all fantastic. The WWE, as I say, handles these things very well. I could have done without it dominating the whole show, but that's just me kind of being a dick. The show as a whole, though, even though it had this sort of doomy, gloomy feel over it because of Daniel Bryan's announcement, the show was still a pretty damn good show. We've got the Lucha Dragons are back together. The Dudleys have turned heel. You know, Ziggler and Owens keeps going. The two Divas stories keep going. We're building like crazy this match for Fastlane between Brock and Roman and Dean. We're teasing more and more dissension between Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, which I like. Brock Lesnar's still looking like the Beast, no pun intended. Everything's good. The show did a lot of great things. I would suggest going back and watching it again, or watching it for the first time if you missed it tonight. But if you missed it tonight, you're probably not watching my review, so don't listen to me at all. Anyways, that's all. Like I say, sometime this week I'm going to do a Daniel Bryan vid. You guys are going to agree with some of it, you guys are going to disagree with some of it. I know that already, so tune in at your own risk is the best thing I can say. Till then, I've been Spaz, your YWC Reality Check. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation, keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I will talk to each and every last one of you later, but for right now, I'm tagging out. Bye, guys.